This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 436. Is technology making us distracted, detached, and depressed? Part 1 by Erin Blaskie of erinblaskie.com. Hola, and welcome to my show. I'm your host, Joss Marie, and I'm all about helping you to optimize your relationships. And today, I'm going to narrate an article by Erin Blaskie that discusses how technology has created a culture of distractions and how it is negatively affecting us. Since we live in a society where screen addiction is common, I'm especially eager to share this post with you, so let's get right into it and start optimizing your life. Is technology making us distracted, detached, and depressed? Part 1 by Erin Blaskie of erinblaskie.com. Recently, I found myself in a house with not a whole lot to do. Sure, there were the usual distractions like my iPhone, iPad, and laptop, but outside of that, my choices were quite limited. I found this to be quite peaceful at times, and I napped a lot. Way more than I would have if I were at home, surrounded by piles of laundry, my gaming consoles, my home office, that sink full of dirty dishes, that DIY project I've been meaning to do. You get the point. I have a lot of distractions in my usual space and a very, very long to-do list. So here I am, in this house of no distractions, night is coming down on me, and I'm freaking out. Full-on anxiety is grabbing hold of my body. I'm short-tempered, short of breath, battling a completely dry mouth, and I'm wanting to run. The thought of grabbing my car keys and driving 2 hours back to the safety and distraction of my own house crosses my mind 100 times in those 10 minutes. I grapple with sleep, and although I eventually win, it's not an easily fought battle. I fall into a fitful sleep that I come in and out of at least 50 times throughout the night. My brain makes up 100 reasons as to why I'm feeling this way. I'm pinning it on the paint fumes from the house, the choices I made in the past 12 months, the overwhelming list I have back home, the fact that I haven't been fully present in my business over the weekend. I miss my daughter and I'm wondering what she's doing, and I'm wondering if I've ever done anything right in my entire life. Full-on existential crisis happening at 1 a.m. in the complete darkness. My brain tries to rationalize away the enormous amount of anxiety with reasons as to why I'm feeling this way. But the truth of the matter is, it's the first time I've let my mind think a thought without shoving it aside and replacing it with something. You see, when I'm surrounded by 1,000 distractions, they are easy to pull in and place in front of me to quickly replace whatever it was that felt a little bad. Oh, that doesn't feel so good? I wonder if my crops are ready in heyday. Switching gears and satiating my brain with progress and production, even in the form of a video game, is a good feeling versus the bad feeling that existed just moments before. The stress and anxiety sucks, whereas playing a game and getting rewarded for simple things like growing crops feels amazing. I'll take good over bad any day, wouldn't you? Well, maybe not. Distracted from feeling? It's not that I'm having an existential crisis at 1 a.m. in the dark. It's not that I'm a terrible human being who has made terrible choices and ended up in a place of total chaos. It's just that I haven't given myself the time and space to feel what I need to feel in order to process my bad feelings into good or better feelings. I've distracted myself out of the time and space I need to understand what the heck is actually going on. And holy Hannah, have we been distracting ourselves out of understanding a whole lot since the introduction of personal handheld electronics. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, email, Messenger, Reddit, Imgur, work, Netflix, text messages. We distract ourselves instead of understanding how to be alone with our thoughts. Understanding the value that exists in spending time with those thoughts, processing them, feeling the feelings, and getting over the hump of emotional freakout is critical. When we distract ourselves away from our emotions 90% of the time, the 10% of the time that we don't feels like a massive surge of emotions and feelings and processing all at once. It's no wonder we freak the hell out. Here's a perfect analogy. You're clothed 100% of the time in public, yes? Imagine if all of a sudden that number dropped to 90% of the time and 10% of the time, unbeknownst to you, and without the ability to plan for it, you were all of a sudden naked, exposed, vulnerable. Would you freak out? Absolutely. Well, this is exactly what we're doing to our brains. We're exposing them 10% of the time to something so foreign, the processing requirements that we require to maintain our sanity, and we're creating a vulnerable, exposed brain that has no idea to handle what we've just done to it. A culture of distractions. In a presentation done by Joe Kraus, he talked about how we're creating a culture of distractions. Here's an excerpt that echoes what I'm referring to. Quote, We are creating and encouraging a culture of distraction where we are increasingly disconnected from the people and events around us and increasingly unable to engage in long-form thinking. People now feel anxious when their brains are unstimulated." End quote. Boom. Here are some other incredible gems from his talk. Quote, Sherry Turkle, an MIT professor who studies technology and society. "We are lonely but fearful of intimacy. Digital connections offer the illusion of companionship without the demands of friendship. We expect more from technology and less from each other." End quote. And, quote, "Where's the number one reported place where people get insight? The shower. Why the shower? In the shower, there's not much else to do. We're relaxed, our mind wanders, but it's not constantly being bombarded with new information." End quote. I could quote the entire presentation, but there's a great video over on his blog post, so I'd highly recommend you take some time to watch it. To be continued. You just listened to part 1 of the post titled, "Is Technology Making Us Distracted, Detached, and Depressed?" by Erin Blaskie of erinblaskie.com. Isn't it shocking to realize just how much of a hold technology has on us? If you've been considering cutting down your usage of digital media, such as social media, your mind and body are probably trying to tell you something. When your brain is distracted all the time, it has less capability to wander, relax, and process other matters such as holding a meaningful conversation with others. Perhaps it's time to become more conscious about our usage of handheld electronics. It'll help us get in touch with our thoughts and feelings as we are meant to as human beings. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and remember to take a break from technology if you can. And I'm looking forward to sharing the rest of Erin's eye-opening insights with you tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this podcast, but also Optimal Living Daily, the show where I read to you from even more blogs covering finance, productivity, minimalism, personal development, and more, from incredible bloggers like Derek Sivers, Zen Habits, Mark and Angel, The Minimalists, and all the ones you hear on this show too. So if you enjoyed today's episode and like taking amazing blogs on the go, come on over to Optimal Living Daily and subscribe to that one too. And together, we'll start optimizing your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift, as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.